Hey everyone, it's Jen B, and welcome to my studio. In today's video, I'm going to be fixing up this cuff. The lovely Christie at Ladies Who Loupe reached out to me to see if I'd be interested in doing a little collaboration where I fix up one of her broken bracelets. So she sent it in the mail, and I got it just a little while ago, and I'm going to start working on getting this baby fixed up. What's broken is right here, it snapped. And also when I was looking at it, the tension from this did snap the solder seams right there along the bezel. So I'm hoping to get this all fixed up and good as new. First thing I need to do is remove the stones. So I'll get ready to do that. All right, these are the tools that I use to remove stones. These are dental tools, and I have modified some of them, especially this one, to have a very, very thin edge that I can kind of wiggle right in between the bezel and the stone to loosen that bezel. So I'm going to get the bracelet set up, and I am going to be using a piece of cork in here to protect the cuff from the metal of the ball vise. I'm going to get it open, and we're going to get that secured in here. Take a deep breath, and I'm going to start with this little turquoise first. It doesn't seem like it's in there quite good enough. I may not have gotten it. We'll adjust it a little bit. There we go. All right, I'm going to start with the turquoise first. So I'm kind of looking around the bezel and seeing if there's any spaces that are like already a little bit bigger than the other ones. And I'm just very gently taking this tool and wiggling it in there. The reason that I really like this tool is because I have filed it very thin, and it has a slight curve. So it kind of sits on the stone. Really nice. So I'm just very gently wiggling it. I am not trying to be in a rush with this. It's a matter of going around, getting everything. Okay, so I'm going to use this tool. See if I can get in there underneath the stone. Start to ease it out. Now it's moving, but let's get a little bit more space right in there. Like that. That should do it. Maybe. Still getting this stone out. Okay, here it comes. And we'll see. Whoop. There it is. Little cutie. See what they put underneath the stone. Looks like some little cardboard or something. So we'll use that to put back in the piece. Okay, so we've got one stone removed, and now I'm going to work on the bigger stone. It does have this beautiful little design right here. So I am just going to carefully push that up a little bit. Again, there is some flex in here, and look, it's starting to come out just from the pressure of removing that other stone. Okay, I'm seeing if they set the bezel under that, and they did not. So I should just be able to loosen up all around this little flower. This is a mother of pearl inlay piece. Really, really beautiful. It's a little tricky right here because this is flexing, so I probably should support that a little bit better. Just noticed I had some Doritos on my nail. My son and I had Doritos as a snack today, and he just went over to his grandma and papa's house. All right, it's already starting to come out. Look at that. You gonna come out? Okay. Perfect. There we go. Looks like it was glued to some metal back there. And we've got some padding right there. And okay, I say we, I'm the one sitting here doing the work, but you know, you're with me, so oops, we have gotten the stone out. All right, so here is the cuff with the stones removed. I am going to take a look and see what I want to do. I'm thinking I'm going to straighten these out very gently so that this, or at least straighten out this side so that it can sit nice and flat. It looks like it has snapped right there. File these ends. So that they have a nice connection to them. And I'm hoping by putting it in some like soldering clay. Still want to file that. I'm going to work on filing this joint a little bit better. And then I'm going to see if I can get it set up in some soldering clay. So that we can get this piece fixed up. I'm just showing you my setup here. I had already tried to solder this, but I was so anxious to get into the soldering that I forgot to clean the metal, and so that piece of solder right there did not flow completely. It pretty much stayed into a little ball and just adhered one tiny spot. So I cleaned the piece in pickle, and we are going to try to solder it again. So let me get you up above. Okay, trying to use the clay as tension, and I really don't like the feel of that clay. Can you see how it's like dry and weird? My hands, and it's on my sweater, and it just, sorry, it's everywhere. Oh, I don't like the feel of that on my hands. Fingers crossed. I'm really trying to go slow here. If I get in too hot too quick. This is like a big piece. Okay, I think I have got this piece. Oops. Okay, I think I have got this piece as perfectly aligned as I can get it. I opted to use a magnesium block, which is soft and is stronger than the honeycomb, and I can more specifically put in the T-pins. So I've got, I think, five T-pins holding this together with tension. And all I should have to do is get that solder to reflow, and then that part of the repair will be finished. So we'll get this all fluxed up and see how it goes. I may end up adding one more piece of solder for good measure. So I'll ball up that little piece of solder just because I really want this to have a nice strong join to it. Okay, so I'm going to grab that piece of solder that I put into some flux and get that to sit on the seam. And where is my pick? Here it is, just in case I have to move that solder. I'm pretty far away with my flame, and I'm trying not to use too hot of a flame, and those T-pins are taking heat away from the cuff, but that's okay. I am not mad about that. Okay, the solder flowed again to that side, so I'm just gonna Right, for some reason that did not want to flow to that side, which kind of tells me that it was not tensioned correctly. Or if I can push down on this. It's going to be real hot. Okay. I've got this part soldered down right there. I'm gonna, maybe off camera, I've got this part soldered down right here. I'm going to file that to remove the excess solder and get a really good look at it and make sure that it is a strong join. I did reform the cuff and it's looking pretty good. The solder seam held, it didn't snap, so that's good news. It's looking pretty good. A little bit more work on some of this just to get it shaped, but I do want to do one more soldering job. The bezel, because of the tension from the previous break, the bezel did snap off right here. I don't know if you can see that flex in there. So I want to attempt to get that soldered back down. And see if I can do that. I may have to move this flower just a little bit out of the way so I can get that pushed down. And what did I do with my wire? I'm probably going to attempt to use this binding wire. It's stainless steel binding wire to hold everything in place. So this is done on camera. I am going to secure the binding wire here just to give some leverage. And then I'm going to be trying to pull this as tight as I can. And I may actually need to use my pliers to pull it nice and tight. Again, I'm not too worried about using too much solder, mostly because, you know, I really want to make sure that everything is soldered down. Okay. That kind of fell over. I didn't really want that. Much rather have it tilted that way. That's good. I just don't want to risk too much heat under the flame, so I don't want bezel or any of the other parts of this to become unsoldered. Okie doke. Everything is nicely soldered. I've got it fixed as much as I can. So I am going to do some filing and polishing, and then get this piece in the tumbler. Apologies if you can hear my child. Okay, so I have added the solder where I needed it to for the bezel plate, or in the bezel on the back plate right in there. And I'm going to use one of my sanding wheels to clean up excess solder that was on the solder seams, because I used a lot of easy solder. It did kind of spill out a little bit, especially since I used a lot. So I just want to clean that up. And yeah, I think I might go around and just do a little bit of sanding over the whole thing just to get out some scratches. And I'm going to put my mask on because I forgot to do that. Hey everyone, I am back. I have patinaed the cuff and put it in the tumbler for a little bit after polishing it, and I'm thinking it looks really, really good. So I am now going to reset the stones, and this cuff will be back to being wearable and great. So let's do it. It's a beautiful day outside today. Okay, I think that's good enough. Let me grab these pieces. When I took the cuff out, they did have some sort of organic material. Looking at it, could have been like a paper towel or something. And I don't think I'm going to put those back into the piece. Um, yeah, I just, they're kind of old and grody, and instead I'm going to use sawdust, which is a material that this style of bracelet also, or this style of jewelry making, the silversmiths often would use sawdust in the bezels, and so I'm going to use that instead of putting the old stuff back in. We will put some new sawdust in, and it doesn't need much. The little paper that was in here was not very thick, so I'm just going to put some in and spread it out and flatten it. Then we'll get that stone put in. Trying to even it out. Even that may be a little too much. I'm going to take just a scoop or two out. I'm really trying to be conscientious of my sniffles. Allergies are so bad right now. And I don't normally suffer with bad allergies, but there's something this year that is making everything really, yeah, allergies are really, really terrible this year. Sorry for all the dog hair sticking up and around. Let's get that dog hair out of there. I'm sure Christie does not want a dog hair in her bracelet. All right, we are going to slip this stone back in. I want to check that. Okay, that looks to be good. Okay, thinking it looks pretty good. And now I'm just going to very gently press that flower back over. I had lifted it up just a little bit. Okay, that piece is going to go in the garbage. And now I'm just going to take a look at the thickness of this piece that was underneath the turquoise so that I can get an idea of how much sawdust to put in there. that out. I don't recall which way the stone went in there. So I'm going to pause the video real quick and take a look at the original photo and figure out which direction that stone went in. Gotta look at the original orientation of the stone. So we'll get this sweetie pie back in. And then this is going to be as good as new. You get a tool in there that you can use to push the vessel out of the stone. And here is the cuff, all finished, all repaired. I soldered this right here is what was initially broken. And when I got it, I also discovered that the bezel under here, or the back plate under here, had separated from the tension of that brake. Yeah, it's looking really, really beautiful. And I am super, super happy with the way that this repair came out. I did not polish out any of the original tool marks or solder that I saw. Like for example, right there is a mark. I think that those pieces belong, or that those marks belong to the original artist. And it's not my responsibility to remove their marks unless specifically asked to do so. And Christie and I did not talk about that. But there's the repair. You can kind of see the solder just because it doesn't have the same age as the piece, the same patina. But that's all right. That's pretty typical. And yeah, I'm super duper happy. I'm going to try it on just so you can see what it looks like on my freckly skin. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I'm so happy that this has been repaired, and I can't wait to get it returned to Christie so that she can continue to love and enjoy it. But yeah, it came out real nice. You know, I'm happy, very happy. Hey, thank you so very much for joining me as I repaired this cuff in collaboration with Christie at Ladies Who Loupe. I will leave her channel down below so that you can check out all of the wonderful jewelry that she sources and brings to sell for the jewelry community. I am thrilled that she reached out and let me take on this challenge. I had fun, I learned a lot, and I'm so glad that this little cutie pie is going to be returned in wearable condition. So thanks again for joining me. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.